Our ancestors led simpler lives than what we lead today. In their lives, there were fewer changes. They might live in the same place for their entire life. They perhaps had one job or one role, and in many cases, if they were married, they had one spouse, or if that spouse died, they might have another, but the relationships were fewer in number. Also, they often experienced one point of view. There was the prevalent belief of the time, the town or the community or the industry dictated what they knew and understood. Because of those qualities, there was a good amount of time for them to contemplate, to think, and to respond. So here's an image of what that simple or simpler life might have felt like. Now, we live in a time which is more complex. In fact, I would imagine that one of our lives would equal at least a dozen accumulated lives of our ancestors. Well, how is this? How is this possible? First of all, we are exposed to multiple views daily. The news, the internet, all of the things that we can read present us with perspectives from all over the world and from millions of people, not just a few. That's one complication. Another complication is there are major changes both in our lifestyles and in the technologies, which add a tremendous degree of complexity to what we experience today. And then there are the many opportunities we have. We often live in more than one place. We go away to school, to college, we change locations for jobs and for relationships. Speaking of jobs, we often have more than one job. And in relationships, we often have more than one of those too. So our lives are very, very involved. And because of this involvement and on the pace, there is really less time to think about what we need to do or say. There's less time for contemplation. There's more demand for instant response. Now, because of these changes, there's lots of opportunities here, and that's the good news. But some of the downsides can be that our lives can become confusing, they can be shallow, they can seem very, very scattered. Now, Life in the Fast Lane, which is the name of this series that we're presenting to you, is designed to help us get a better understanding of what's going on. We'll be discussing strengths and weaknesses that we face as individuals, and we will also be exploring tools which can help us to encourage our successes and to diminish the stress that we experience in our life. To do this, you will be seeing images like the one that I'm sharing with you now, and I will also be providing activities so that you can explore and experience directly the concepts that I'm sharing with you. Thank you so much for joining us in this series that's called Life in the Fast Lane.